to Limitless Formula Racing. It's the pre-season shakedown. So here we are at Bahrain. Bahrain is, bear with me one moment. Bahrain is situated in the Sakia area. It is quite a flat ground with a little bit of a elevation around turns 4 to 8. And we've got Wild Gamer shouting hello. Hello Wild Gamer. It's great for you to join us. So a little bit of facts about the circuit itself. It was opened in 2004, mainly for drag racing and the annual Bahrain Grand Prix. So then in 2006 it also introduced the Australian V8 supercars, so it was used for multiple types of racing. So the circuit itself, it is 3.36 miles, that is 3.4 kilometers. It has 15 turns, consisting of 2 very difficult turns of 8 and 10, and 3 long straights. So we have 9 to the right and 6 to the left on those set corners. Circuit itself has been made by Herman Tilk. If you have followed any of my other commentaries, you will hear a lot about him. He has got a habit of throwing an S-bend, a Turkish style bend in there, and a lot of long straights that go back to back, which is the 3 straights that we do have from turns 13 to 14, from 15 to turn 1, from turn 3 to turn 4. So today we are looking at a mix of our Monday night racing and Tuesday night racing drivers. So we'll introduce some of these drivers as we go around. But so far at the moment we do have Matty Bott, we do have King's Home, we do have Matty Gioppa, Flea, Get Carter, Non-Human, H-Boss, Jim Strav, Freedom, Wild Gamer, Vike, DJ Death Dragon, TNE Addy, DJ Destroyer, Pressing Mixer, and myself is Ferret172, who is the commentator today. 25% race distance, which will then, at the end of that, we will be looking at that being completely flipped and reversed to give us a nice dynamic flow to the second race, where the faster drivers are trying to get past and get back to the front, similar to what they have to do with 1 to 8, but this time it's going to be the full grid. Anybody DNFs, you will be starting at the back, so if you DNF first, you're at the very back, and so on and so forth. So it means that it is for your best interest to finish the race. We do have Percy, who wish he was racing with us today, and whoever's in his Red Bull seat, he's shouting let's go, and that would be, we have Flea, and we are waiting for the other Red Bull driver, whoever that will, may be. So our reserve drivers, who are also our Tuesday drivers, have been allocated seats by our admin Meg. Any of our viewers, can you throw in some comments on how you feel about the circuit, what's your favourite section, where you think is going to be the toughest part of the circuit for you, where you think you're going to be taking the overtakes. And I don't think many drivers know the capabilities of other drivers, but we have seen a couple in the practice. We have seen King's Home, which is Joe, he's put a good lap in. We also have Wild Gamer and Abdi also fighting for that top spot. And Meg's so glad we've got this league up and running. Yes, Meg, we are all happy that we have got this league started. Pre-season is quite important to see how we are racing wise, making sure we do have a very good flow, a very good set of drivers who are following the rules carefully and making a fair and competitive race. As you see, our drivers are ready to race. We do have 16 drivers with us today. So any of our viewers, if you can, just drop us little messages, say hello. See who you're backing. See if you want a particular driver or particular constructor to win, let us know. But we are starting with a short qualifying session. Qualifying session is quickly just sort out the formation of what we start the race as. So anybody who is into your F1 history, you will know there is recently there has been a big thing about the Saudi Arabia circuit because of the problems that government has had in the past. But Bahrain was actually in a similar position 15 years ago. A lot of people did not want Bahrain to happen because of the human rights issues that Bahrain has had in the past. But that has been quite quickly forgotten about and put aside with the improvements that F1 has pushed onto the government to improve their human rights, which is fantastic. So as I said, him and Tilk actually created this circuit, and as you see there is 3 big straights, which is him and Tilk's trademark. You'll see it in many circuits such as Imola, as well as Turkey and also Yas Marina. And the biggest problem that this circuit does have is the fact that it's in the middle of a desert. A lot of wind drafting goes across this circuit, causing a lot of pile up of sand. You would see, if you are ever lucky to get out there and watch a GP at Bahrain, you will see there's a lot of vehicles out there clearing away sand before and after races. And we can see right now a lot of cars are out. Wild Gamer is leading the pack on the outlap. He is in the Haas today, sporting the number 41, which I will be honest, I can't recall any driver sporting that number in the past, so it could be quite unique. We'll throw up the track map there. Let's get the details up there. We want to see what tyres are on. So we have a mixture of softs and a few people on mediums. Now we do know that the circuit does have a heavy grind on the front left due to the sharp turns that this circuit does push. So we do have another driver joining us, which I believe it's 3434 is with us. So hopefully he'll be able to jump in a car and get in a qualifying lap. You will find that I will jump on board with some drivers, see how they are and see where I could tell you where they're losing time or gaining time. Now let's throw the lap data on. We'll just jump on board Wild Gamers. I do believe he might be a front runner for us this evening. So here he is, he's coming in to the final 2 turns, turn 14, which is quite sharp, and then a slow turn 15. And he goes over the line and starts his fast lap. And here we go to turn 1, going round into the double back. As you can see that there, this is quite similar to a corner in Sochi. Another fast straight heading up. The car swings right at turn 4. A little bit of a extra brake in there from Wild Gamer could cause valuable temps, but he seems to handle the S's quite well, using as much track as he can. A late apex in turn 8 is what you need there. Now let's see how he handles turn 9 and 10. 9, he cuts it in. A lot of drivers do like to take that one wide and give a better position for turn 10, but he has handled this quite well. a mid-sized apex, I would say. There is balanced them out as it comes up onto turn 11, which is a long sweeping left-hander, flowing into turn 12 and then onto turn 13, which is at the top of the straight. Nice line, uses as much track as he can, cuts the corner nicely there and puts himself right on the far left of that track. He needs to be hugging that light white line. He seems to be drifting away a little bit, comes back, uses curb, gets right across, just touches the other curb, which is perfect. Brings along over the DRS line and over the start finish line for a 1:26.2, a fantastic starting lap for Wild Gamer. Let's see if we can jump on board whoever is next. Right, I'm just trying to find out who is next in our league. Oh, so Geopet put a 1:26.3, another fast lap. Viper with 1:26.5. Who have we got next going round? So we've got Get Carter, who is coming round. We've got Joe on a 1:27.6. A nice lap from Joey and Flea on a 1:28.0. A starting lap. These two are on fair medium laps. And Get Carter has gone straight into the pits. Maybe he's decided that medium tire will be the better tire to start on. We need to see who is next one round. I do believe that might be. Oh, that's. So we do have Death Dragon, Freedom, Non-Human out on laps at the moment. We'll jump on board with some of these in a moment. I see Freedom's put a nice lap in, nice sector 1 in there. It does have a Ferrari in front of him, which gets out of the way. That's Joe getting out of the way. Very fair racing there from Joe, letting the driver on the fast lap get past. It's good to see that. That's something that we do encourage, the sportsmanship. As he goes for turn 11 onto turn 12, a little bit wide on these corners. He should be touching these curbs, so we could be seeing a lot of time lost here by Freedom. As he comes down the back straight, around turn 14, wide on, very wide on 15, like you should be doing. You should be pushing that as far wide as you can. And over line with a 1:26.9. As you can see, that Freedom did have a fantastic lap, especially at the beginning. Lost a little bit of time due to going wide at turn 11 and turn 12, and a little bit wide on turn 13. But that is something he can improve on, and it will mean that he could be taking half a second off, maybe more, and maybe be challenging the top 2 races. And it's Non-Human with a 1:26.5 has had a fantastic lap there. Can we see anybody else who's on the fast lap? So we've got DG Destroyer, who is currently going around turn 11. He would be our next driver to cross the line. How does he do on this? He is getting closer to these curves, not touching them. You can spin out by touching the inside curve of turn 12, which is a habit of myself, I will be honest. And here we go. Around turn 14, around 15, which is not really a corner, but it's classed as a corner. And across the line with a 1:26.8. Again, little bits there that could be doing to make that better. Let's jump on to another driver who is I will like to see how Abdi does in a moment. I'll stay on board with Abdi because Abdi was fast in the practice, so we'll see how he does on the medium tyres today. So viewers, please let us know how you're feeling about the track. What do you think is your best strategy for this circuit? Any stupid random facts you've got about the circuit would be fantastic. So Abdi is using as much track as he can, daring to cross that line to give himself a bit extra width on that corner for turn 4. Through the S-bends quite nicely, touching the curbs just delicately. And around turn 8, lock up there. And a little bit of steering correction could take valuable temps off his time. Another lock up into turn 10. You can't afford to do too many lockups on this circuit, it will destroy your tyres. And as we go into turn 11, another lock up. This is pressure That is or too much pressure applied onto the brakes, and maybe a little bit pressure on the driver to perform a good lap. But nicely round turn 13 there. As he comes back down the back straight, I can see there's a little bit of a glitch there. Looks like he's meant to go wide. He's straying away from that line, which he shouldn't be doing, because he needs to save as much time as he can and effort in those tyres, so they don't wear out too quick. But it is a very respectable time of a 126.7 on medium tyres. You can take roughly about 7/10 of that, so we're looking at a 126 dead from Abdi, which is quite equivalent to what he was hitting in practice. So we'll run through our qualifying as we're getting up to the mid mark of 9 minutes we've got left. So we've got Wild Gamer of 126.2, Giopta in at 126.3, Vike in 126.5, Non-Human at 126.5, just 200ths away from Vike. We have Tierney Abdi on 126.7, Destroyer on 126.8, Freedom on 126.9, Massey on a 127.3, Get Cars on a 127.3, Matt Boss on 127.4, Joe on a 127.6, Pressing Mixer on a 127.7, Flea on a 128.0, and Death Dragon on a 128.2. Cosgrove and Jibstaff still needing to put in a time. Is that the two? Yeah, I think that's the two Renault drivers that are still need to put in times. So we can see Giopta is on a fast lap. Anybody else on? We've got Non-Human on a fast lap, just starting his fast lap by the looks of it. Tierney looks like he's on a drive back to the pits. Freedom on a fast lap. Get Carter, who's coming into the pits. Matty on a hot lap. Joe is on a fast lap. Let's see how he does. 125.7. An outstanding. Puts on some soft tyres and puts a lap out there that is half a second quicker than the previous one. Fantastic lap by Joe. So we are looking at a Ferrari being on the front line. Not very often we see that, I will be honest. Non-Human looks like they're putting improvements in sector 1 and 2. We're 126.4, puts himself in provisional 4th. Fantastic lap by Non-Human, quite competitive there. We are expecting Wild Gamer to put in a good lap as well. Freedom jumps up to 5th with 126.4. These lap times are getting very, very competitive. Are we seeing, like, we've got Matt Both and Matty on fast laps. Yellow sector 1, that will be driver just moving out the way so it didn't disturb any other drivers' fast laps. Let's have a look and see. We've got Matt Bott, I do believe he's on. He's given himself a bit of time to, because he's invalidated that lap, so he will be taking his time on that. We've got DJ Death Dragon. Sounds like a hardcore DJ that you find at the pleasure rooms or such. I'm sure Flea would understand that one. So we've got DJ Dragon about to bust out a flying lap. We've got H-Boss also on an out lap to put in a fast lap. We've still got Jim Strab, who still hasn't put a lap out. It still hasn't come out. Excuse me, Wild Gamer. We've got a Matty on a 126.1. A fantastic lap by Matty. Puts himself on that front line provisionally with Joe. We do have Wild Gamer who's coming around to see if he can make any difference here. 126.1 takes seconds back from Matty. Another great lap. That is just over 200ths between Wild Gamer and Matty. Can we see any of the drivers that are out? We've got Pressing, Mixer and Fleet on outlaps. H-Boss currently coming on down to turn 9 and 10. Still seeing a lot of people cutting turn 9 quite tight. It's if you're following the racing line, if you're using the racing line and that's where it's telling you to go, that's a little bit off. It is the quicker line, but it means you're taking a lot more out of your speed going through turn 10. Try a little bit of a wider line, come in a little bit steeper, and you'll find that your rotation is a lot easier going through turn 10 and you can carry a little bit more speed. It might benefit you going down that back straight, the mid straight. So we've got Flea, who is now on a fast lap. And H-Boss has put a 128.2, sitting at the back of the queue at the moment. But we have got just under 4 minutes to go, so anything can happen here. Wild Gamer into the pits, Non-Human on an outlap, Death Dragon on a fast lap by the looks of it. Death Dragon has improved to a 126.5, putting him in provisional 8th. Abdi, who had a fantastic lap with his medium tyres, now opted for a set of soft tyres and he's on an outlap, so we'll see how well he does in a moment. Pressing Mixer with a 127.3, he's done a fantastic lap there to get himself further up the tail. Get Carter on an outlap at the moment, coming around 10:15 to start setting that time. So here we go with I want to be jumping on board with Abdi being our driver of my interest at the moment. So Abdi's coming on turn 1, Wild Gamer just coming out the pits, luckily not disturbing Abdi's corner. But Abdi did go a little bit wider. Does that affect his time? I'm not too sure. A little bit of a glitch there and I don't know how that's happened, but we'll just carry on anyway. Ran nicely around turn 4, use as much whip without crossing that line too much. You'll see a lot of Formula 1 drivers do cross that line a bit more, thinking they're carrying more speed, but it does actually affect your entry into the corners afterwards. Destroyer on an outlap at the moment. Hopefully he'll get out of the way for Abdi if he can. Nicely gets out of the way, so Abdi's now got open clear air in front of him through the mid straight. Around 10:11 and 10:12, comes on the top, 10:12 into 10:13, using as much time as he did purple sector than middle sector, so it is a good time looking for Abdi at the moment. Oh, sorry, Adi going around 10:14 and 15 now. Let's see how his time sits with the top runners. That's a 125.8. puts them in provisional seconds. We do have Joe out on soft tyres at the moment, and it looks like he's going to try and seal that time. We have less than a minute left for drivers to get across that line. So Wild Gamer out on a fast lap, Matty on a fast lap, Gioppa on a outlap going into a fast lap. Now he's on a fast lap. So we have nearly everybody on a fast lap. Flea in a pit won't be able to make it out for a fast lap. We do have H-Boss, which is invalidated that lap. He will not be able to get round in 24 seconds to make a fast lap. Jim Shav, who's never left the pit, is going to be starting at the back. DJ Death has retired from the race from qualifying at the moment with a time of 1:25.9, which puts him in provisional third. But it does give time open for drivers such as Wild Gamer, who's on a fast lap, as well as Matty. So we're going to be jumping back through these drivers. Anybody closer? We've got Destroyer and Non-Human, both drivers on an out lap. I'm not too, on a fast lap. Destroyer looks like he's just backed away, given the opportunity for Non-Human to put the time in, but that time is just very high. Wild Gamer a 1:26.0, close but no cigar, and Matty invalidates that lap on the last couple of corners, unfortunately. Goes straight across into the pits. Freedom does make an improvement, put him in provisional 6. Drop it into the pits. That's all our drivers finished, with Joe just being the only driver who actually was able to finish a lap but decided not to. And that it will be the end of qualifying. So with the qualifying ending there, we've got Joe at provisional third, well, Joe first on pole, Andy second, Death Dragon on third, Wild Game in fourth, Matty at fifth, Freedom at sixth, Gioppa in seventh, Non-Human eighth, ninth was Vike. Excuse me. Got Get Carter in 10th. G Destroyer in 11th. Fleet in 12th. Matty Bot in 13th. 14th for Pressing Mixer. 15th for H Boss Worth. And Jim Sheriff sitting in 16th. A quick look at the director, and we can see there is not many track limits exceeded by different drivers. Exceeding track limits does add up when it comes to a race. It does take off seconds, and seconds is valuable when you are racing. So we are now waiting for the start of our first 25% race. It's 25% of the Bahrain circuit, followed by another 25% of a reverse grid around the Bahrain circuit. So it'll be quite interesting to see how our faster drivers cope with being stuck at the back. As I said before, DNFing will result that you start the next race at the back in the order of which you retires. So ideally we would like to see you finishing the race. So as we're waiting for our drivers to be ready, we have got 5 seconds left to go. Start that off. As we look at a formation lap, this lap is essential for you to get your tyres up to scratch. You need to get your tyres up to the correct running temperature. You also need to test your brakes and get them a little bit heat in them. Cold brakes just means you're just going to slide through turn 1, which in Bahrain is never good. So as we can see, we do have 17 drivers, because 3-4 has joined us in 17th. So it'll be quite interesting to see how his pace does last throughout the 14 laps. So we do have a bit of a spread between the drivers at the moment. We do have Jim Strav and free fall a little bit further behind, which means these drivers at the front are going to have a little bit of a wait for these drivers to get into position before the race starts. So it might be the best interest for Joe to actually use the back straight as much as he possibly can to warm up the tyres, slow down the pack, just get the heat in those tyres ready to go and get bunch that grid back up. But it looks like he is actually just going to warm them up a little bit as he slows the pack down just before the cut-off point, which now this will be here where you will be required to handle the car smoothly. So we do have Gioppa and non-human who have been disqualified from the fair. Information like this could be minor contact or just driving unnecessarily in a hazardous manner. So pit strategy: soft to mediums, soft to hards. It would look that way. That's been the interesting way to go, as most of our drivers, apart from one, start on the medium tyres. So Flea starting on the starts on the soft tyre. Sorry, Flea starting on the medium. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're out and away we go. So here we go at the start of the race. Joe in first. Death Dragon has managed to slip from third to first. We are expecting a lot of drivers shifting up and down, and it seems that Freedom has kind of like got all the way up and then all the way back down again, and we're jumping back up to the top, and a safety car is out already. Safety car out already. Did not see what happened there for the reason that would be. Could it be the amount of cars that actually went off track? Did the car spin out? Because that safety car did come out very quickly. Right, so what, if you have a look at position changes, if there's any massive position changes, not at all. 2, 3, which is quite natural to happen on a race. Can't see what happened there. Let's have a look where. So we have H-Boss with a severe collision with free fall. Do apologise guys about that. So I'm just going to jump into the racing director to see what happens. It could have been a severe collision with Destroyer for Flea that caused the safety car to come up, but there was a couple of collisions. We do have Freedom crashing into DJ Death Dragon and then Pressing makes a colliding with H Bosworth, all in the same corner. Those 3 collisions. Freedom cutting a corner, so that would be the issue that we have there. As it shows you the predicted pit stop strategy again of softs to mediums. So a lot of drivers are jumping in now, probably jumping on for a set of hard tyres. Double stacking there for the Renault, but that is a wing change for H-Boss. So can we see who done the stop? So Freedom, Jim Strav, Matty Bott and Flea all done a pit. Sorry, it'll be Matty Bott, Flea, Bosworth all stopping with Freedom as well and Jim Strav. So these will be on the some of the medium tyres, 1 on the hard, 2 medium, 2 hard, 2 medium, 2 hard, 1 soft. All on that pit stop there. So see the reason that free fall is in front, which we do know that's usually the case. So we do have Abdi, who's currently sitting behind the safety car. So we'll see whether if it's this lap or next lap that the safety car will be going. It usually is 2 to 3 laps for the safety car to come in. It usually waits until most of the cars are bunched up together, which I do believe that's the case in this one. So it will be another lap for the safety car out there. So Percy, if you could let us know what you're thinking of the race at the moment, you two, Meg, and Wild Gamer, if you do have a moment to jump on and give us a little message to see how you're feeling about the race, currently sitting in second, that'd be fantastic. We do have our drivers taking this opportunity to warm up their tyres, as we're going to flick through the pack to see how they are at the moment. I can see that DJ Death Dragon does have a damage to his front wing. Oh, yeah, you can see there's a front right wing damaged. All the other cars do seem to be without any injuries. It's just a McLaren. An evasive manoeuvre from Matty Bott at that corner then. Okay, so as we go around 10, 9 and 10, another opportunity to warm up the tyres. Addy will be keeping the pack in check as this happens. Good opportunity to focus on his tyre warm up then, because he will be looking and expecting the safety car to pull into the pits. As we're waiting word, and race control has declared that the safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. So this is Addy looking to warm up his tyres as much as possible, pack that those drivers up before deciding to go, and he pulls oh no, it looked like he was about to pull off. He just straightened his car off a little bit and then gone back to warm his tyres up. Freedom with a severe penalty with Matt Bott for severe collision. That's a collision under safety car is the key part, and Matt Bott has got the same penalty. That may be investigated afterwards. And Addy gets a good stop, but not good enough for Wild Gamer to be left struggling. But Matty UTM is on fire as he battles with Vike and Non-Human to start closing down the gap between himself and Wild Gamer. Non-Human looking for the opportunity to pass Vike, who is in turn looking for an opportunity to pass Matty. So this train here will not be going anywhere until one of them decides to stop at a station. A lock up from Vike could have opened the door up for Non-Human, but not so much. And there's a battle between Vike and Matty. Wheel to wheel touching, maybe. And Vike has had to back out. Matty putting the pressure in there on that corner. And that's another safety car. It looks like a crash out from Matty just after turn 10. So that would have been a spin out and collision into the wall. Maybe lost a tyre. Turn 10, if you put the power down too early, or when you're not just slightly off, you could send your car into a spin. And this is a perfect opportunity for those drivers on the soft tyres to be jumping in there. And we've got a severe penalty for two of our drivers by the looks of it. I'll look into that in a moment. So a lot of our drivers have jumped into the pits. I think that might have been a glitch. Honestly, I know that it's not a glitch. While Gamer does have a time penalty, so does Addy. Addy has had to change his front wing, which put him down to 11th. So while Gamer put him down to 11th, sorry. Addy with a 5-second penalty due to a collision with Addy. And Destroyer now looking to hold this pack back as they all bunch up again after another safety car has come out. A little bit quiet moment here as we do see that there's not much going on while there's a safety car out, so we can talk about the penalties that our drivers have received. So let's have a look. Incidents. So it's severe collision where from Fleet into Destroyer. That would have been first corner problems. That's not a issue that would be quite vast, really. It won't be a deliberate or bad collision. It's just the fact that it was severe in the eyes of the on-game stewards. H-Boss with a severe collision with free fall. This may have been under the safety car, which is automatic, gives a severe penalty for that. Mattbot with Freedom and Freedom with Mattbot. This is another safety car collision. Get Carter speed in the pit lane. Safety regulation there. That is a 101 for Get Carter, that you shouldn't be speeding in the pit lane. And then while game with Addy, another safety car collision. So these are 5 seconds, as you can see. We do have, let's jump on the pit stops. So we've got Mattbot, Freefall, H-Boss, Death Dragon, Wild Gamer, all having front wing changes, which does make a big difference to your time in the pits. So we are coming up to the point where we are expecting the car, the safety car, to either say that they're staying in or staying out. As it comes over the timeline, around 10-12 before the timeline. Over the time, safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. So this means the drivers will be looking to get racy again. Let's have a look at position changes. So obviously with the round of pit stops, we do Jim's have severe collision with free fall. And that's racing back on. So Destroyer out in front, but he's got challenges for Freedom and Jimstaff at the back. These drivers are battled from the very back up to the front. Free fall in third. Addy is dropped down to 4th. Matty in 5th, that's where he started the race. And Matty drops down for non-human. Bike is 7th where he started, is now passing Matty. What's going on with Matty? Is he... It just seems the door's been opened. And there was a bit of a collision between 3-4 and Addy, which has caused a bit of a pile up. And has allowed a lot of cars through. So Matty is back up to 5th, Viking 4th, Wild Gamer with a quick switch at 10-11, putting it through past Matty right in front of us. A very brave move, but very clean at the same time. Come round 10-14, Viking locks up. Wild Gamer will be looking at and looking for ways to go past. Fastest lap so far is a 1:30.030 for Destroyer. As we start to run through past the halfway point now, so we've got DJE Destroyer in 1st, Freedom in 2nd, Non-Human in 3rd, Viking 4th, Wild Gamer in 5th, Matty in 6th, Jopper in 7th, Get Carter in 8th, Abdi in 9th, Pressing Mixer in 10th. We have DJ Death Dragon and 3-4 battling for 11th, and then H Bosworth has managed to get 12th off 3-4, so 3-4 sitting in 13th at the moment, with Joe sitting in 14th. The guy who was actually at the front is now at near the back, but is looking to be making his move onto 3-4. Who is still battling it out around 10-12. 3-4 going wide, spinning out, catches it, manages to save the car from critical damage, but allows drivers of Jim Strav and Flea to get through. Jim Strav, who started at the back, is now 2 places up from there. Joe making his moves up. He's only 12 places down now from what he was just moments ago. Still got a long way to go to get up to the top. Bosworth up 3 places. Death Dragon down 8. Pressing Mixer up 4. Get Carter up 1. Addy down 6. Tioppa in the same position as they started. Matty down 1. Wild Gamer down 1. Vike is up 5 places. Freedom up 3, Non-Human up 6, and Destroyer up 10. If the race ended here, Destroyer would get not just pole but also driver of the day with the 10 places movement he's made. As we are on lap 9 of 14, after this lap there will be 5 laps left, so that'll be just over a third of the race to go. Non-Human sitting in 2nd, Viking 3rd for the podium positions. Freedom seems to be fading a little bit here. It's dropped down to 4th, and Wild Gamer is looking to make that move back up into the position he started in. A fantastic lunge overtake at 10-11. Can he do the same? He does. He posts it. It's through. Clean battle between himself and Freedom. He puts it through. It was there for the taking, and it allowed to happen. Freedom is battling back, going on the inside of 10-4. Both drivers having to give each other the space. A little bit of wheel bashing from Freedom as they do battle round wheel to wheel round 10-5. Freedom loses out there after a little bit of wheel bashing that I would say was a racing incident. Freedom has spun out and has now ended up down in 11th. That's putting the Dragon Death in 10th, which is a points position. Pressing Mixer in 9th, Carter in 8th, Matty in 7th, Addy in 6th. Diopper is sitting in 5th, while Gamer in 4th. While Gamer in the same position as started is closing down that gap between themselves and Vike. Now Vike is up 6 places, sitting in 3rd at the moment. A fantastic race for himself, a good racing strategy. Non-Human up 6 places as well in 2nd, and the best movement has been so far has been Destroyer, but Destroyer is coming in for his first pit from those softs. So it means I've done 10 laps on those softs. A great stint, but that has just opened door for drivers such as Non-Human to get up there. Now Destroyer back down to where he started the race. Fresh tyres though, which means he will be looking. Oh, he's gone down a little bit further, down 3 places from where he started. 4 places. Oh, it's changed again all around. So Non-Human is now the first place racer with Vike in 2nd, while Gamer in 3rd, Gioppa in 4th, Addy in 5th, Get Caught in 6th, Matty in 7th, Death Dragon in 8th, Pressing Mixer in 9th, Freedom in 10th, Flea in 11th, Bosswave in 12th, Joe in 13th, Destroyer in 14th, with Freefall in 15th, and Jim Strav in 16th, Matty Bott, the only driver to DNF. Unfortunately at turn 10 for him, which means he will be starting in 17th in the next race. Let's have a look and see where the battles are. The battle could be here at Addy. Has Addy got it in him to make that move? He needs to be getting closer rather than further away. He's sitting in a half a second bracket. Does have DRS. But not able to make the move at this moment. But but between Wargamer, Gioppa and Addy, there is like half a second each point. Wargamer not far from Vike himself. So the battle for 2nd is within 2 seconds, maybe a little bit more. No, definitely a little bit less. It would seem like most drivers would have accepted that Non-Human would be winning this race unless there was a severe instance where Non-Human would DNF or have critical damage. Get Carter up 4 places. We also got Pressing Mixer up 5. Flea is up 1. Joe is down at 11 at the moment, but just does seem to be catching up with Flea. As we are looking now for the penultimate lap for our drivers. Lap 13 of 14 could be an interesting lap because this is where the drivers will be looking to do the end game planning, and Addy is looking to make this move on Gioppa stick, keeping him in 4th. Non-Human and Vike have had a fantastic effort in this race today. Could be looking at 2 completely different drivers from what we started in the podium positions. So as we're coming around 10-10, Addy is within 3 tenths of Wargamer, looking for that late night overtake. Death Dragon Making the moves on Matty. Can he make a move stick? Can he make it happen? Can he make it stick into these next few corners? As Non-Human is approaching the line, the start-finish line to start the final lap. And that's it. That's the final lap started. Flea in a point position, was in a point position, but Joe has managed to take it off him. Freedom firing his way past a lot of drivers. Flying through. Destroyer is in there. There is a bit of a wheel-to-wheel contact between the two. Destroyer and Freedom right behind. And Addy has DNF'd as he crashed out. Yellow flag. I think that might have been a little bit of damage and he's decided to quit the race there. Which promotes racers like Joe up to 9th. Jim Shaw with the fastest lap of 127.9. Being the driver at the furthest back with the fastest lap. That just proves that Jim Shaw does have a lot of pace. Just unable to put it into this race at the moment. So we'll have a look to see where our drivers are. Non-Human is about to cross this line. And boom, there we go. Fire eggs off as Non-Human has completed the race. Viking second. Gioppa is now in third. Wild Gamer in fourth. Matty in fifth. Death Dragon in sixth. Pressing Mixer in seventh. Get Carter in eighth. Joe in ninth. Destroyer in 10th. Flea in 11th, Freedom in 12th, with penalties to be served. We are waiting, so we've got H-Boss in 12th, sorry, Freedom in 13th, Freefall in 14th, and Jim Shaw rounded it all off in 15th. And there we have it, that's the first race. Now we will be having a moment now where we have our course admin have a look at the standings to make a decision to who would be in what position. So as we can see that Vike got driver of the day. Well, it was between Vike or Non-Human being the drivers of the day, with them both matching like for like on overtakes. But I'll let you all decide on the comments. Let us know who you think deserves driver of the day. Well, driver of that race, would I say, because we do have the reverse feature race. Well, gamer, that was stressful. It was an epic race. It was the penalty that cost you there. You had the third and lost it with the penalty. Right, let's have a look. Let's just screenshot this. So we've got it ready for our drivers. Matthew Green, definitely me for a driver of the race. Alright, I will be honest, I am still learning drivers' names, so you'd have to let me know where you came, because then I can match it with your name, or even just give me your PSN name. That'd be fantastic if you can, Matthew Green. My fault, I had a bit of contact in the pit lane. Yes, I did see that. That was a little nudge with Addy in the pit lane. Oh yeah, so Matty Green, who admin does sort out the custom grid and gets that, so we'll be looking at, Jim Strav starting in first with Free Fall in second, Freedom in third, H-Boss in fourth, Fleet in fifth, Detroit in sixth, Joe in seventh, Get Carter in eighth, Pressing Mixer in ninth, DJ Death Dragon in 10th, Matty in 11th, Wild Gamer in 12th, Gioppa in 13th, Bike in 14th, Non-Human in 15th, with Addy, Matty Bot and John Neves to join afterwards. So let us know how you felt about the races. Any spectators there, let us know what you thought. If you think that you can make it with the reverse grid happening for next race, could you make it happen? It will take a couple of minutes for our admin to have that sorted. But as we do, let's go back to our little Bahrain facts. So with the Bahrain circuit, it was one of those ones it was meant to be a city circuit. It was meant to be within the city itself, but government planning would not let that happen because of it was taking out a big chunk of the city. It's like Baku does go to a standstill when the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is on, so they didn't want to replicate that. So they made this circuit. It was mainly for drag racing, but the drag racing circuit track is between the pit straight and the mid straight. It's just long drive down there. Was it 2010 they used the endurance layouts? They used the endurance layouts in 2008 and 2009 as a testing circuit. They also used it in 2010 as a real circuit, but a lot of drivers did not like it because in between what is known as turn 4 and turn 6 there was that part, the outer loop wiggle, and then the cutting back in. They didn't like it. It was too narrow. There was not a lot of passing opportunities, too much S-bends. They didn't like that kind of idea, so they kind of cut that out, so they didn't use that anymore. But fantastic question from Wild Gamer. The endurance layout is used for a lot of open wheel racing as it is anyway. It's also used for GT racing and has been used for the V8 Australian supercar racing. So fantastic, a great question to ask there, Wild Gamer. So the FIA have been heavily involved with Bahrain. So you've got like the 6 hours of Bahrain, which happened in 2012, 2017. You've also got 8 hours of Bahrain, which happened in 2019. So yeah, it was 2010. Fernando Alonso got the fastest lap in 2010 of a 1 minute 58. So as you can see, that's adding 28 seconds on, just adding that little bit on. The outer circuit fastest race lap record was a 55 second, which was held by George Russell in the Mercedes. Question I've got for anybody who wants to try chip in: do you think Hamilton would have beat that? Do you think Hamilton is a faster driver than George in that Mercedes? Would Hamilton have got a faster time than a 1:55.4? So there is an original circuit which is just slightly longer than previous. I think it's all down to a couple of corners that have been changed. Just I know 10, 9 and 10 was extended a bit, whereas some corners have been narrowed off to give it a nicer flow. Yes, but it would be close. Fair point. So Wild Gamer believing that Hamilton would have actually been faster than George. I kind of agree with you because George was still getting used to the car. It wasn't designed for him. Pedals were a bit too high up because of how quick they had to get him in there. They couldn't cut the bodywork out a little bit where his feet would have been able to fit. He had to fit into smaller shoes to fit onto the pedals. So we got also a Brenda's Union who's actually joined us for the race as well. So they will be starting at the very, very back. So this is going to be an interesting race with the reverse grid. Hopefully the grid has been updated correctly and we can all get into a nice race here. So fantastic conversation between myself and Wild Gamer via the chat on the YouTube channel. So we are looking forward to a reverse grid race at Bahrain. So another 14 laps of Bahrain magic. As we're waiting for the cars to set up on the grid, we've got 30-second countdown for the session to start. Drivers are given this opportunity to choose their layout, choose their tyres. It is an open forum for tyre choice. And a comment from H. Bosworth: better improve this race as I'm his engineer. So B Gamer is H. Bosworth's engineer. So H. Bosworth, pull your finger out. You're starting in a better position, so you're starting in 4th. So let's run through the grid positions. It is exactly how I said it was. We do have a little bit of a glitch in there, but hopefully that is just Codemaster server problems as always. We've got Jim Shav in first, we've got Free Fall second, Freedom in 5th, Bosworth in 4th, Flea in 5th, Destroy in 6th, Joe in 7th, Get Caught in 8th, Pressing Mixer in 9th, DJ Def Dragon in 10th, Matty in 11th, Wild Gamer in 12th, Gioppa in 13th, Non-Human 14th, Addy in 15th, Matt Bott, who crashed out first, in 16th, John Nevis and Brenda's Union both joined us at the end of the last race to join us at the back of this. It will be quite an interesting race, I will say, because a lot of these Jim Shav, I know, has got the pace. He is very quick. Whether or not he can make it last, it'll be interesting to see. A little bit, I'm just going to jump off Jim Shav because he does seem to be glitching up and down the field. That is something that we will not. We're not happy with connection. We need a reliable connection for a very good, very clean race. So it'll be something that the admin will be looking into at the end. He's going to bring home the podium. You know, he's in 4th, which means he's got a good chance of getting a podium. He wasn't the slowest racer up there. He just had a bad few moments and it was tumbling down. But let's see how he does. I do hope that he challenges for a podium because it will be fantastic. So here we go as the cars are coming up into the grid. We've got Brenda's Union, who is taking all the time in the world to get the heat into his tyres. Do I blame him? No, not at all. He's not the greatest pace, but strategy will work. And shut up, Harry, I'll drop you. Harry being Bosworth, I'm coming in last. Be quite interesting to see what happens. So let's jump on board. I'm going to jump on board with some drivers throughout the race to see how they're performing. I will be looking at 3-4 at the beginning, waiting for these lights to come in, as all the cars are on the grid ready for the lights to come on. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're out, and away we go for Bahrain 2 reverse grid. So this is a like I said before, this is a pre-season shakedown. Non-human has been has retired from the session. How did that happen? I'm not too sure what happened there, but we do have a bit of jostling around happening, and I'm not too sure whether this is down to Codemasters or this is just hustling around, because we do have some collisions going on throughout the race. This is what the shakedown's for. This is to find out who is worthy of taking on the Limitless Formula Racing League. And we have Gioppa, who has crashed into a couple of races at the moment under virtual safety car. So this is where some drivers have got a knack of timing things. Yes, I am looking at you, Flea. A knack of making the best out of a bad situation. It just seems that a lot of drivers will be, it seems like they're going a little bit quick here, because these were all bunched up. Drive-through penalty for James Shaft for speeding under safety car, or under virtual safety car. Bosworth dropping down to 6 for some reason, as they are driving underway. Get caught at a second. Freedom's in first. I have no idea what's going on here, because right, this is Codemasters at its best, because we do have drivers out there that should be higher up. Right, let's wait for this to sort itself out. Right, so no. Right, let's have a look again. Right, no, it's still buying up. I do apologise, guys, because I do believe Freedom is our first driver, followed by Destroyer, Get Carter and Flea in fourth. Obviously Brenda's Union is sitting there in first on this. When a driver does that, you can't expect him to be in first. Fantastic loop-the-loop there. So here we go. I do believe that Codemasters has sorted themselves up there. So we've got Freedom in first, DG Destroyer in second, Get Carter in third, Flea in fourth, Addy in fifth, virtual safety car out again, DJ Death Dragon in sixth, Pressing Mixer in seventh, Bosworth in eighth, John Neves in ninth. Fantastic movement up the field by John Neves. So we do have a mix of medium and soft tyres, so it'll be quite interesting to see how they go. Joe in 10th, Matty in 11th. Jim Shaw has had to drop down the order. Maybe that was probably because of the contact that was made with him earlier. Free fall in 13th with a wing change. I think Codemasters needs to sort that out, because spectating a pit stop like that, we shouldn't be seeing it like that way. We should be seeing actually taking the wing off. But that's me playing petty. And Jim Shaw drive-through penalty for speed and under the virtual safety car. Free fall in 16th, Brennish Union in 17th, but looking like he could be taking free fall in a moment if he can. Not possible. Okay, let's get back to the top. Let's have a look, because the virtual safety car has gone, and somehow Addy has got past Flea. Addy with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's crossed the line. That is going to hamper him at the end of the race, and DJ Death Dragon has managed to get past Flea as well. So the hardcore lover now chasing down the hardcore DJ. with the lunge into turn 1 not possible for Flea, as we're now skipping back to see how pressing Mixer is looking at Lee. So pressing Mixer there just under a second behind Flea, hoping that a mistake will happen for him to make the best of it. I can't see many battles. 3-4 behind Brenda's Union. As we see, there's a contact. Contact between Brenda's Union and 3-4. I don't know whether that was Brenda's Union trying to move out of the way a little bit and brake to allow 3-4 through, or whether that was a brake check. But 3-4 was coming in very quickly at that point. So 3-4 in first. Destroyer there in second, closing that gap onto Freedom, and Freedom going for the pit stop. So we've seen two different strategies last race, and it'll probably be the two same strategies again. So it's soft to mediums or mediums to softs. I would have seen if this was a longer race, you may have seen the hards come out instead, because the hards are much easier to manage on this circuit. So we have John Nevis, who is still behind Flea at the moment. Oh, sorry, no, John Nevis is behind Flea. Preston Mixer has managed to get past Flea. There seems to be a mixture of movements as soft tyres onto against mediums. Soft tyres will always do better. So pressing Mixer will need to be making moves on Death Dragon and Get Carter to make the tyres work for him. Matty Bott with a 3-second time penalty. Now Matty Bott, who is sitting down further down, I think, has gone up 3 places. Let's see who the biggest. John Nevis up 10 places. John Nevis was one of the drivers who joined us later, has managed to get all those places. Addy up 13 places. Obviously not all drivers have made the required pit stops. So the leader of the pit stop maneuvers is Freedom at the moment. He has got 14, so he's got 20 seconds behind, in front of Wild Gamer, so it doesn't look like any other pit stopper will be making a move on him, with Addy with a 1:28.6 making the fastest lap. You can see that there's a yellow flag in sector 1 as Addy has dropped down a few places, probably gotten wide on the corner, and Death Dragon and Get Carter has made the advantage on that. Let's have a look at the penalties. 3-second penalties. They've got 8-second penalty for John Nevis, 5 seconds for Matty, 5 seconds for Jopper. So 3 seconds would be multiple warnings for exceeding track limits 3 times. The 5 seconds would be speeding the pit lane, speeding the virtual safety car, which that usually is a drive-through penalty or an unsafe penalty for the 5 seconds. Not too sure what I'd rather have, the 5 seconds or the drive-through penalty. But either way, none are good. John Nevis with 8 seconds at the moment. That 8 seconds will be a mixture of both of them, so you'd have multiple warnings and one of the 5-second penalties on top. That will make a massive difference. Let's have a look at the leaders' difference. So if you're looking at something with 17 seconds, so it would be putting them down to 9th. So the pit window is open for softs at about 7 to 10. As we can see, a lot of drivers on mediums. We've still got John Nevis, who's on soft tyres, which is, he's in the pits currently at the moment. 7 is 8-second penalty by the looks of it. We do have Destroyer, who is the only driver left on the soft tyre. He did do this long stint with the soft tyre last time. Can he make it work? I'm not too sure. it is roughly about 17 seconds you lose. So if we're going 17 seconds from leader 17 seconds, we're looking at 6th, maybe 7th for him to come in back into the race. We'll see how he does. I just want to jump on board with him, see if he's going to be making much difference on that race. The racing point in its bright pink colour just stands out a mile away on a desert like this. Let's see if he decides to pit now or later. And it is a pit for Destroyer. The choice to pit now is one of those ones where you do have advantage. Free fall is on softs. I think they changed from hards, mediums to softs. John Nevers, 3-second time pass for multiple ones. Track limits, that's all I've got to say. Let's have a look. Freedom has managed to get 5th in front of Destroyer, which means that he is still leading the fast. Destroyer has managed to get 6th. I was estimating 6th, 7th with the times, but there is a couple of other drivers who jumped in the pits at the same time. So it'll be quite interesting to see how these how this goes for the drivers. Wild Gamer with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I do get quite tired of explaining track limits to a lot of drivers. It's not something that you can just easily just push under the carpet. We do have a battle between two admins. We've got Joe and Lee. Both coming into the pit. Oh. We've seen that, Lee. We've seen that. Oh, sorry, I should say Flea. Flea, we've seen that. We've seen what you tried to do there. Bahrain's not the pit stop to try and do that movement. But look at that. With the advanced Red Bull pit crew, Flea has managed to get in front of Joe. I'll guarantee you that he'll be buzzing about that after this race. He will cheer it, go into Joe's face. Ah, did you see that I leapfrogged you in the pits? Let's see you do that with someone else now, Lee. Alright, so we do have Death Dragon, who is yet to pit. 12 seconds in front of Freedom would mean that he would have to pit now for an effective move because the time is coming down. Freedom is closing in. So let's have a look at the tyres. So we are looking at most of the drivers on mediums. We have Flea on softs, Joe on softs, Matty on softs, and 3-4 on softs. So these are all on the alternate strategy. This could make a big difference, the soft tyres in this capable battle. So Destroyer closing in. Freedom. Do we have a safety car for the retirement of Bendis Union? I hope not, because it will ruin a battle like this. And around the outside goes Destroyer. Does he make it stick? He does. Destroyer is now in first. Pushed out long on those tyres. Now with the newer medium tyre, he's managed to get himself back into first. And I can't see anybody challenging him unless Freedom managed to find a nice flow with the tyres a little bit older. Or safety car. Imagine if a safety car comes out now. We've got 3-4 who is in the sight of Destroyer right now. which means he's about to be lapped. If a safety car came out, who would that benefit? Would we see these drivers that are on medium tyres at 6 or 7 laps old jumping in to get stressed soft tyres? You can see 3-4 has pulled over to the side to allow a lot of cars through. I do appreciate the 3-4's thought of the faster driver, but you also got to think that slowing down that much will bring up a yellow safety marker, which actually slows down the race a little. So you've got to keep the pace up a little bit. So Matty with a new time of a 1:28.5. That's you never walk alone, Matty. My accent might say I'm from Liverpool, but I'm really not, and I don't like what you've done with that phrase. You've stolen it. A bunch of Scouse footballers have stolen it. You never walk alone. But I digress. I can see John Neves with another 3-second time penalty. I'm going to jump on the penalty side of the minute. Let's have a look at the build-up. So that's 9 seconds on top of what the 8 seconds he had earlier. So that's 17 seconds of penalties that he's taken. If we put that with the lead, if we take the 8 seconds off, he would be up in 5th. John Neves will be battling with the top 5 drivers. And now the 9 seconds adding on to that, we'll be dropping him out of the top 10. And there we go, 3-4 spinning around. Makes me think of Dead or Alive or Kylie. And 3-4 has decided to retire from the race after that spin out. It's unfortunate to see anybody retire from a race at all, but sometimes it does happen. Let's have a look and see where the battles are. Well, fastest lap is Matty, so we'll have a look at there. Let's see anybody else close to the 1:28.5, 1:28.8, 1:28.7, 1:28.7 is the closest. Right, let's have a look. Where's the battles going? Pressing Mixer on Flea. Now Joe's not far behind them at all, and I think he's actually catching up with the soft tyre. Let's have a look. I think Flea got past Pressing Mixer. Good battle from these. Flea goes wide where it spins a little bit. Pressing Mixer goes wide on the corner. So both drivers make mistakes. Makes no difference in the standings then. A little bit of over rotation from Pressing Mixer slows them down. Opens up the gap a little bit more. It makes Joe look like he's going to close them in. Let's have a look at Talent. He's throwing all the overtake in. We do have one more lap to go after this. We're on the penultimate lap with Destroyer at the moment, so these guys are just going. We've got 2 laps left now. So this is Joe. Got 2 laps left to see if he can actually catch these 2 drivers in front. Destroyer's opened up the gap between himself and Freedom. Freedom is holding off quite well with the Addy. Addy has got 3-second time penalty, so it will make no difference whether he makes it past or not. But it could make a difference if Addy has it in him to open up a 3-second gap. Get Carter is 1.7 seconds off of taking that position off Addy from the penalties. The Death Dragon will be hunting him down. Flea is more worried about defending from Pressing Mixer than actually trying to catch up with Death Dragon. We'll jump on with Joe because Joe is right behind Pressing Mixer with the softer tyres. Is he got in him to make the move? Close it in. Pressing Mixer is harvesting as much energy as he can. Joe looks for the move, but I do believe he's just deployed overtake. Oh no, he's harvesting. You can see the harvest, the light flash, and that light flashing just means harvesting the energy. So he will be using that energy to get up the back straight, up the front straight. DRS open for both drivers. Joe with a faster momentum does make the move. Does he make a stick? Flea in front. Oh my goodness, that's 2 cars past. But Professor Mixer goes very wide indeed. Flea and Joe battling wheel to wheel on the final lap. Joe with the race position, but Flea with the pace. Fantastic ending here. These two guys are making an entertainment end to this race as we are looking at them now. Flea is right behind Joe. Joe with the race position, but Flea with the pace. It's going to come down to the last turn, I believe. Matty's made a move. Matty is now right behind Flea. Let's have a look. Matty could make an upset and pass these two drivers because they are in that range of where it could happen. He doesn't have any overtake. All these drivers have got very little overtake, but John Nevers has quite a bit. But he's got time penalties, so there's really no effort going in there. So Joe has got a nice little gap between himself and Flea. John Nevers deploying all the overtake he could to get past Matty. A lock up between these drivers here. Matty with the move. I think Matty just ran out of fuel at the end there. So we got Destroyer in first, Freedom second, Addy in third, Death Dragon in fourth, Joe in fifth, Fleet in sixth, Matty in seventh, Professor Mixer in eighth, John Evans in ninth, Get Carter in 10th, Wild Gamer in 11th, G Hopper in 12th, Jim Strav in 13th, Bosworth in 14th, Matty Bot in 15th. 3-4 Brenda's Union and non-human DNFing at the pit straight at the very start of the race. So we will be seeing our drivers on the podium in a moment. Please let us know what you believe, who you thought your driver of the day, because it says Addy on here, but I do believe that was quite a good effort. But I quite like the battle between Flea and Joe. So let us know what you think, guys. I will read them out quickly in a moment. So as we can see, our drivers are celebrating on the podium. Let's have a look dead quick at What a Shocker by Wild Gamer. I can't argue with that. That was a bit of a shocker from yourself, Wild Gamer. I do believe you have got a bit better pace. Harry Bosworth, you did make an effort to try and come in last without DNFing, so good effort for trying that. I don't think your engineer would be happy. So we do have penalties that have been applied. So that does make a little difference to some of the positions, like John Nevers dropping down behind Massey and pressing Mixer. So we'll just save that image, and we'll save the image of the bottom drivers. The two Williams drivers DNFing, Red Bull DNFing. It was a an epic race, and I do hope you enjoyed the shakedown. Our admin will be looking at the race footage, speaking with the drivers, seeing how they were, seeing how things was. But we are very glad that you have joined us today, and we hope to see more more racing action on a Monday night, and looking for a Tuesday night as well. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and we'll see you very soon with the next race.